Hey, so I just listened to the very last episode of season one of Yoruba Muslim, and oh my goodness. Wow, okay. I think I understand now why some people really like the podcast. I mean, it was low key funny. I was smiling through, I was like, man, I don't know where my head was at that time, but I feel like I was entirely normal. Right now, I don't know if I'm like perfectly normal just yet, but I feel more normal than I probably was then. But yeah, where I left off, actually, in that last episode, well, not the episode before this one, but like the last episode of the first season, is I was talking about, oh, I'm going for NYSC and all that. So I thought today it would be interesting to fill you in on what NYSC was like. In fact, maybe I should focus on camp. Going to Abuja for NYSC was definitely exciting because I was like, finally, I'm leaving this town, this cool city place. And of course, it's always really nice to go to a new place and everything. So yeah, I mean, definitely one of the things on my mind was like, oh, I'm going to a place where there'll be a lot more Muslims, so I won't be like stranger, in this place anymore. Yay! But then you find out that once you're a stranger, you're always a stranger. But that's a topic for another day. Anyways, so this NYC conversation, maybe we should have like 4 chapters or 4 segments or something. So chapter 1, let's call it, Man O' War. That's such a cool title. Anyways, I have this picture of myself like on a rope. I don't know how to describe it, but if you follow me on Instagram, and if you have been following me for a long time, because I don't know if that picture is still on my profile, but if you've been following me for a long time, then you probably know the picture I'm talking about. Like I am kind of hanging off a rope, like in mid-air. I'm not sure how to describe it again, but then there was this like manual competition between platoons where we had to do all these we had to go through like this training course where you climb a scary looking ladder, and then you slide down a rope, and then you climb this grid rope like things. Like it was pretty fun. And then you test your balance by there was like a, what do you call this now, like a log or something that you have to walk. Yeah, it was pretty interesting. My platoon came second. There were 2 of us in my platoon, actually. Like each platoon had 2 representatives, and I feel like if I were the only representative of my platoon, we might have come first. Yeah, just saying. But anyways, that picture, I was just lucky to have it because one of my classmates from uni was also in the same camp, and he was at the Man of War thing, and he took that picture. Thank you, Hyson, for taking that picture. I sent it to my dad, and it was such a proud moment for him because, you may or may not know that he was in the military. So like, yeah, like father, like daughter, right? Not so. Anyways, that was fun. In camp, I don't remember if I fully expected to make friends, but I did make friends. Now that I'm saying that, I feel guilty because I haven't talked to any of my friends from camp for a while, which is quite sad. The only Muslim friend I remember from camp, Sister Toiba. Yes, I know the sister, her name. Her first name is Sister. Definitely no. I should probably call her like once I'm done recording this, but like she's total good vibes all around. She's Yoruba. And yeah, that reminds me, guys. So, at the MSS mosque, right, there was this thing. I don't remember what happened, right? But this day, in the female section of the mosque, Hausa girls and Yoruba girls were beefing. They were fighting. Not physical fights, but like hurling insults at each other. And you know what was weird about it? Like, the Hausa girls were literally on one side of the mosque. I don't remember whether it was the right or the left. And the Yoruba girls were on the other side of the mosque. And guess who was right in the middle? I was. Now, it's not like I was part of the conversation. Like, heck, I'm not even sure I knew what the trouble was about. But when I think about it, my goodness, now that I'm a filmmaker, I'm just like seeing how perfectly that whole thing was blocked. Like, I was right in the middle, and it was so symbolic because I definitely do not identify with the Hausa girls, but I technically also do not identify with the Yoruba girls because, yes, I'm Yoruba by blood, but that's about as Yoruba as I am. Yeah, so, and if my life were a movie, that moment would have even been more symbolic because moving forward, I still feel like an outsider. Like, I still feel like I'm always the one that's just, like the outlier, the outsider. So, yeah, I mean, at the moment, even now, I found it amusing. Like, I must have been smirking while this was going on. Of course, I was sad that, oh my goodness, girls, why can't you just get along? Why are you fighting? And why does it have to be Hausa versus Yoruba? But yeah, it is what it is. And I think I'm going to have to break this camp conversation into pieces. I'll probably pick it up again next time because this is leading me somewhere else, and it's making me think about even my experience outside of camp with Yoruba Muslims and Hausa Muslims. I mean, coming into Abuja, I had the impression, like from stories I'd heard from friends and cousins, that Hausa Muslims feel like they're better than Yoruba Muslims. Sorry, guys, like there's no nice way to say it, but yeah, that's what it is, generally speaking. Now, bear in mind that this is not me generalizing because there are always exceptions to the case, but generally speaking, Hausas believe they are better Muslims than Yorubas. Yeah. And they don't hide it, so I would go to places. I noticed this even after I got married. People would assume that I could speak Hausa because I'll be wearing the hijab. And of course, remember, this is something that happened a lot in Enugu as well. So it didn't change when I came here. They would assume that I could speak Hausa. They would speak Hausa to me. And when they realized that I couldn't speak Hausa, like, you would literally see their faces fall. Like, they'll be so disappointed. And it's not just the disappointment, but it's like almost like this look like, ugh, you're beneath me kind of look. You might think that I'm overthinking it, but trust me, I'm not. It's like they don't regard me as anything after that. After they realize that I'm not Hausa, it's ridiculous. Like, it's so freaking ridiculous. I'm trying to remember like any other example of when I might have encountered this whole Yoruba Muslim and Hausa Muslim bias. I don't know. Maybe I'll talk about it in the next episode if I can't remember anything. But yeah, there was a lot of that going around. But then you know what the funny thing is, right? You come here and you find that a lot of Hausa Muslims don't, and I'm talking about the women now, right? They don't even wear hijab, like observe hijab to the extent that some Yoruba Muslim women do. I mean, a lot of Yoruba Muslim women cover their faces. I think I know more Yoruba Muslim women who cover their faces than Hausa women. And maybe you'd say that, oh, because I haven't been to the far north or whatever. But I'm just saying that, I mean, there are Yoruba women who wear the niqab. There are Hausa women who wear the niqab. There are Yoruba women who don't cover their hair. There are Hausa women who don't cover their hair. There are Yoruba women, like, when you look at both tribes, right, you can find parallels. So it's, again, I hate that this has turned into a conversation about tribe, but that's what people make of it. That's what they turn it into, basically. But my point is, tribe shouldn't even be a conversation here, right? You're Muslim, you're on your own path. You've got your own choices, whether you cover your hair or you don't cover your hair. You're making that choice as a Muslim, not as a Yoruba person or a Hausa person, right? So, I mean, as much as I wasn't surprised by the whole, oh, Hausa Muslims are better vibe that I was getting when I came to Abuja. I'm still in Abuja, by the way. as much as I wasn't surprised, I was a bit, I don't want to say shocked, but it was disappointing, getting those reactions from people when I couldn't speak Hausa. So, yeah. I mean, this is what, like, 4 or 5 years later. Actually, I wasn't in Abuja for, like, a year or two in between these 5 or 6 years, but I still can't speak Hausa, which is a shame, but oh my goodness, it's like Enugu all over again after spending so much time there. I can't speak Igbo. Ugh, gosh, guys. Anyways, I'll end this episode here. Thank you so much for listening. Follow me on Instagram at Korede, Korayday. Follow me on Twitter at I am Korede. Same spelling, Korayday. Let's chat, send me a DM, tweet at me, let's talk. Let me know what you think about this episode. And that's it. Toodles.